Alright, today we're here at Total Aquatics, and we have Anis, the Canadian rep for ZooMed, and he's helping us set up a terrarium today. You see these nice beautiful displays. This one here will look like this one. So we're just going to go through a couple steps. We've already missed one step, and the first step is essentially to hook the pump in the corner, and then put your hydro balls down on the bottom. A little bit of sphagnum moss all the way around. And now Anis is getting some Eco Earth wet, and then we're going to put our first layer in. So we'll be back. Alright, so we're back, and Anis is working hard here. So basically what we've done now is we put all the Eco Earth in the bottom and built up a piece of Mopani. It's essential that you pick a nice piece of Mopani that's going to let the water drift down really nice. So we think we're pretty confident that's going to be a nice piece. You can see the intake for the hose for the waterfall, and then over here we're going to put like a plant or something in there. So second step of building. It will require you getting your hands a little dirty, like Anis says, but yeah, we'll be back after the next step. Alright, so we're back for the third time, and now we're adding moss. So I guess the key here is to fill in all the spots that need to be filled with the moss to make it look very natural, and to fill it in. Any other key pointers, Anis?
Yeah, always soak your moss in water. Don't put it in dry. Soak it up in water. It will mold better into places and will give it a much better head start.
It's exactly what we're doing here. It's very important to use a high quality moss such as ZooMed. You know, when you're working with the stuff, you want it to last.
And we've also put, you notice from the side, we've used a little bit of sphagnum moss as filler moss. It also holds in humidity really well. It molds really well, and then we touch it up with some terrarium moss and frog moss in the end. The idea is to make it look as natural as possible. So the cork bark and the moss really add that final touch.
And we'll be back on the next step. Okay, so we filled in with a lot of the moss and stuff. You can see that the sphagnum moss has been pushed in, and then there's just terrarium moss on top of it. And that is the hide. And down here on the bottom is a very nice moss. It's a frog moss, and once this moss actually becomes wet, it'll actually start growing. So it comes back to life, kind of like this one here. I'll show you in the other tank. If you look, you can see it's starting to sprout. It's very green in color too, which is very nice. Very nice look. But now we're going to put in a bunch of plants, and then when we're done with the plants, we'll do the last video and show you the finished product. All right, this is the finished product. Turned out beautiful. As you can see, we were pretty certain this was going to be a nice piece of wood, and our instincts were correct. It's gorgeous. Flows much nicer in person than even on film, but it turned out to be beautiful. You know, it's very nice. Anis, you did a very, very nice job.
Thank you.
So the second one we have done, this was actually done at the expo, so you might have seen it at the ZooMed booth. But today Anis put on a hydrotherm, which I'll get Anis to tell you a little bit about these guys, because these are a great investment.
Basically allows you to control humidity. So what you can do with it, you've got a probe inside the terrarium that actually takes your temperature reading and your humidity reading, and basically what you're able to do from there is hook up a fogger like we've done here. Okay, we've hooked up the fogger into the sockets, and basically what that allows us to do is, say if you've got, for example, in here we've got a basilisk, so we know that it likes very high humidity. We can set the humidity level on here, and it'll digitally maintain that humidity level. So it's a great little tool for people that are busy like myself, people that travel a lot. That way you can have your fogger kick on whenever humidity drops below the set point. So it's super convenient, and obviously it's going to make your reptile that much more comfortable because it's in a constant environment. It's not constantly fluctuating. You can also do the same thing with heat. We didn't use the heat feature in this terrarium here because we don't need a lot of heat in this tank for the basilisk. He's still a baby or a hatchling. But what you can do with heat, you can actually combine up to 1,000 watts. So you can even do multiple timers or power bars into one and then combine it into here. And it works really well with heat emitters for large terrariums. And that way you can really maintain your heat, and that way you don't have to worry if, for busy people. In general, you always want to make sure you don't get any heat fluctuations for your reptiles. They're very susceptible to heat spikes. So it's just another little tool that ZooMed has come up with, and it's probably one of my favorite products from ZooMed, and it works really well. And
I agree, it's a beautiful piece of machinery.
Yeah, so here we've got a nice little environment for, in this case, there's a little basilisk hiding in there. In this one we've got live plants, and in this one here we've done another cool setup, and I'll show you guys one more tank here. And as you can see, the fogger is just kicked on in this one. And basically what we've done here is made a little environment. We've got a little, looks like a leucistic leopard gecko living in there, and he's quite happy with his home. He's even dug up some of his own little entrances. And
up top here?
Yeah, he's dug his own little pathways, which is exactly what it does. It allows your reptile to have a very, very natural home, and obviously make it that much more enjoyable.
And it's all, there's the packaging for it, excavator clay. Very easy to use. Even before we had Anis around, I tried to play around with it a little bit.
And you can see here now the fogger is just kicked on, which means basically it read that humidity has dropped 1% below what it was set at, and it turns on to bring it back up to the set level. So it's a very, very convenient way to maintain humidity without being around to constantly spray or...
Looks amazing too, that's the best part.
Sure.
So we're going to hook up another fogger to this guy too, the new one that we just did. This one turned out amazing. It's actually one of my favorite ones that you've done. It's beautiful.
Alright, until next time. We'll see you again next time. Thanks for joining us.